Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Catherine and this is So Much Sewing. So Much Sewing is all about my home sewing adventures. It's all about what I get up to in my sewing room all the way down the bottom of the world in New Zealand. Today what I'm talking to you about is this thing that I'm wearing at the moment. I will also talk to you about a project that I am partway through, and there's another project that's been sort of milling around in the back of my brain for quite a few months now, and I'll talk to you about that a little bit further because I feel like I've just got one step closer to being able to achieve what it is that I want to achieve. Thank you for joining me today. If this is your first time here, I hope you will like and subscribe and do all that amazing stuff. And if you are a returning viewer, thanks so much for coming back. You know I appreciate your company. You know I read all your comments and respond to your comments. And you know that I love to hear about what you guys are sewing as well. I love doing these videos. They are a really great creative outlet for me, but they're so two-dimensional, or they're one-dimensional, whatever that is. But I can talk to you, but it's not easy for us to have a two-way conversation. But the way we can do that is in the comments below. So please leave me your comments. Tell me what you're making. We can have a bit of a chat. You can find me on Instagram if you like. I don't do a lot over there, but I am on Instagram. So I would love to catch up with you guys and have a proper chit chat about sewing. So what I'm wearing at the moment is the Apollo jumper by Bella Loves Patterns. I've made this in a cotton rib. Apparently it's from Turkey. I did buy this. Look at this. I've either got pet hair all over me, or I've got you know, bits of thread from the sewing room, so I'm always picking stuff off me. But so this is a it's a knit, and it's a cotton rib that I got from, I think it was the fabric store a long time ago. I got this color and I got another sort of olivey green color that I have made up and I have worn on this channel. In fact, last week I think it was, I wore the green version. I made a Hazlewood top from Tessuti out of the green fabric, and out of this sort of cranberry colored fabric I've made the Apollo jumper by Bella Loves Patterns. This fabric has been sitting in my stash literally for years. I haven't really known what to do with it. The olivey green Hazlewood top that I make, I absolutely love, and I've worn that a lot over the years. But the fabric itself is it's not soft. It is a little bit stretchy, but it's quite a sort of a stiff, structured fabric, and so I struggled for ages to know what to make out of it. But I saw these architectural sleeves on Bella Loves Patterns, and I thought that this fabric probably would make up quite well into that pattern. So I feel like it has made up quite well into the pattern, and the fabric was, you know, quite easy to sew. It was easy to press and easy, you know, it behaved. It did what it was supposed to do. The pattern instructions are very easy to follow. It's a really, really lovely jumper. I probably won't make another one. I'm glad I made this one and I will wear this one, but I probably won't make another one. I'll tell you about the size range. The size range is not huge on Bella Loves Patterns. As an example, they go from a bust of 80 centimetres, which is 31.5 inches, to that's a size 6, and a size 22 is 112 bust and 44 inches, 112 centimetres and 44 inches, and the hips 87 centimetres or 34.25 inches for a size 6, and for a size 22 119 centimetres around the hip and 46.75 inches. So not a huge size range, unfortunately. Going off these measurements, I am a size 20 in the bust and a 22 at the waist. And so that's what I did. I made a 20 at the sort of neck and the shoulders and then graded out to a 22. But in actual fact, I graded out even more than to a size 22 because it's a very straight up and down, very straight up and down pattern, as you can see. And the finished garment measurements they gave were for the size 20, which is what I've made up here, is 127 centimetres. So that's fine, that's great. But they don't actually give you a finished hip measurement, although they did give a finished waist measurement, which is for the size 22, which is 123 centimetres. So because this is such a straight through design, I knew that the hip was going to be pretty much the same as the waist, and that just wouldn't do. So my hip measurement is about 119 centimetres, and with a finished hip measurement of 123 centimetres, that is only 4 centimetres ease, and that doesn't work for me. It may work for a lot of people, but I've got an incredible spreading lower belly, and so my standing hip, what I call hip measurement, is 119 centimetres, and when I'm sitting down, my belly spreads out to 125 centimetres. So 6 centimetre spread, plus obviously you need some kind of ease. You don't want it to be tight around your belly when you sit down. Well, I don't anyway. That's not the look I'm going for. So I knew that size would not cut the mustard as far as my hip area goes. So what I did is I did grade out even further. I should have got this prepared earlier, shouldn't I? My apologies. But I just added some extra to the pattern. So this is the front, I think. No, this is the back, sorry. And so you can see that's where the original size 22 is, and I have just put a little bit extra in there, and that was enough. That was enough to make it really comfortable for me. Move down a little bit. Oh, more fluff on me, goodness me. So you can see that there is some room there. I will put some pictures in, of course. So that's great. I'm comfortable with that fit. So I absolutely love me a stand-up collar. I love this. This collar is amazing. The architectural sleeves I really loved. But in reality, on me and in this fabric, I'm not as in love with that architectural sleeve as I thought I would be. And additionally, it's supposed to be a bracelet length sleeve, sort of to about there. But on me, I got the short file. This comes in a tall file and a short file. And I got the short file, and the sleeves are still too long for me. I'm 5'2" or 162 centimetres or something like that. And so, I'm happy with the length of the sleeve, although I think actually for the shape of the sleeve, it probably would look better if it was up a little bit. I know when Ginny from the Big Sew Along made this top, she said the sleeves were quite short on her. And I know she's pretty short as well. But for me, I must have really short arms because, they're just quite long on me. I really do like this pattern, as I say. I think it's a great pattern, and it's going to suit loads and loads of people. It's not really, the way it turned out, I like it. Like I say, I like it and I'll wear it, but I'm probably not going to make it again, unfortunately. But I can see that this could be an amazing pattern for so many people. So if you're looking for a jumper pattern that's just a little bit different, then I would recommend this because it's easy to sew. The instructions are fantastic, and it will just be so easy to throw on with a pair of jeans as I have today, and you're dressed. I did use elastic here on the shoulder seams. It does talk to you about doing that, and I did do that, and I think that was definitely the right thing to do, because you know, if you've got a fabric that has a little bit of stretch but not much recovery like this, then you need that to keep the shoulders stable. I put a label. This is actually the first time, I think, I hope this isn't making a noise on the microphone, sorry. I put this label in, and I think it's the first time I've managed to put a label in where it hasn't gone all wonky and crazy, and I've had to take it out and redo it again. So I was really, really pleased with being able to get the label in nicely. Small wins, eh? And actually this label I got from Sharon, who watches this channel. How long ago was it? It must have been 1.5 years or maybe 2 years ago. I met up with a couple of viewers when I lived in Auckland. I met up with Andrea and Sharon. Hi ladies, I hope you're doing well. And when we met up, Sharon gave both Andrea and I a little gift, which was so nice of her. It was one of these labels, these gorgeous labels, and it was also one of those stickers. I think this is a Kylie in the Machine sticker, and it was a Kylie label, Kylie in the Machine label, and she also gave us a Kylie in the Machine sticker, fabric sticker, you know, where you can write on what the fabric is, how much it is, when you bought it, that sort of thing. So that was really, really sweet when we met up. And I was saving this label for the right project, and I think it goes so well in this jumper. Oh, where's it gone? I think it works so well in this jumper. And like I say, I was really happy with the way it went in. So it was all win, win, win. So yeah, love the jumper, love wearing it. Probably won't make it again, but that doesn't mean to say it's not a good pattern. The next thing to talk to you about is the project that I'm partway through. I am making the Canton Moto Jacket by Cashmerette, and I'm doing a collaboration with Carol from Polly Sews. And so it's taken me a while to cut out all the pieces, because there are a gazillion pieces in this jacket. Not only are there a gazillion pieces, you know, in the outer garment, there's lining, and then there's all those interfacing pieces as well. So it's taken me a while to cut everything out, and in fact, the last thing I cut out was the lining pieces, and I had some sort of hammered satin that I was going to use as the lining, and I thought I had pinned it out really nicely, and it was all nice and flat, and I cut it out, and oh my gosh, it was so wonky. I couldn't use the pieces that I cut out. Luckily, I caught it in time. I realized after cutting out 2 pieces that it wasn't going to be easy, and so I thought to myself, because this project is pushing me technically, it's pushing me. I normally like to make sort of easy, not too simple, but you know, I maybe I'm a lazy sewer and I don't push myself to new heights, if that makes sense. And so I feel like this pattern is pushing me outside of my comfort zone. So I thought to myself, look, I'm not going to bother with this slippy, slidey lining. I'm going to use a different lining that behaves well. I've already got so many challenges and new things in this project that I don't need to add an extra layer of difficulty by adding a slippy lining. So anyway, long story short, I've cut out a cotton lining. And so now everything's cut out. I've started and putting all the interfacing on the pieces. Ladies and gentlemen, when we sew, preparation takes as long as the sewing part in some cases, and in this case definitely. There are so many pieces that had interfacing on them, not just small pieces like, you know, facings and that sort of thing. Huge big pieces like the front piece on here. This is one side of the jacket, and that whole back is interfaced. So as you can see, lots of interfacing on this project as well, but that's okay. And I have just noticed something on here that I am going to have to check out when I stop filming. Anywho, so this is, and what I've done is I've made this out of old jeans. I've cut up pairs of jeans to make this moto jacket. I did not have enough jeans. I had 2 pairs that I cut up. So I've also used this lovely cotton velvet as well, and so this is the other front piece. And so after you've cut out 150 pattern pieces, then you've cut out the corresponding 150 lining pieces, then you've cut out the 110 interfacing pieces, you think, okay, great, I can start my project now. What am I going to do? I'm going to sew the shoulder seams together, or I'm going to do, you know, start something simple. But no, ladies and gentlemen, the pattern starts you on the zip, on the front zip. So that is where you start, on the front zip, which turned out okay. It's fine. Like I say, there's a little thing I've just noticed while I've been talking to you that I have to check out. But other than that, it's going together fine so far. 1, 2, 3. I've only put 5 pieces together, but so far so good, and I'm really looking forward to working on this afternoon. And the last thing to talk to you about today is a project that has been mulling around in my head for a long time, and I have talked to you about it before. I have made the Reggie dress before by Seamwork, which I really, really love. And I also love the look of the Etta dress by Merchant and Mills. And I think they look very, very similar apart from the sleeves. But what I want to do is I want to make a long-sleeved version of the full wrap Reggie dress. You can make a faux wrap, which I have done before, but I have not made the full wrap yet. And so I want to make the full wrap version in a long sleeve. I have this lovely Cupro, which is always hard. Actually, that's probably the colour that it is. It's sort of... it's a little, really, in all honesty, it's a little bit more chocolatey than I would like it to be, but it's very plummy as well, deep sort of plummy colour. And so I've got about 5.5 meters of this. So I've got plenty to do a full wrap. And so, yeah, so the plan is to do a long-sleeved Reggie. I might end up buying the Etta dress yet. I'm not sure, because I want a long-sleeved version, and I can hopefully find a sleeve that will fit the arm's eye properly of the Reggie dress. But if I don't have one, or if it's becoming too hard, then I will just buy the Merchant and Mills Etta dress. But what I would like to do is, ages ago, and I did show you this ages ago as well, I found a dress on Trade Me, our local secondhand selling platform, that had some detail on it. I bought the dress. It was $20. So I probably won't actually wear this dress, but it was $20, and I thought that would be worth spending that money so I could see how they had done this little trick and how I could recreate it myself. I'm going to unpick this. So this dress itself is a little bit like the Etta and the Reggie, but what they've done in the front here is they've pleated the front and the back. But what they've done is they've just used a raw edge. So I don't know if my overlocker is going to be that neat, or if that's not an overlocking stitch. Maybe it's some other, it looks like an overlock stitch. So yeah, I don't know if my overlock will look that neat, but that's what I would like to do, is I would like to pleat instead of gather. I would like to pleat and use the raw edge here. So I just want to unpick this and see how they've done it. I mean, it's flat at the side there. That's the side seam under the arm. So it's flat under there. So whether I do that or whether they don't, I suppose that's a good idea because it would take less fabric. I guess it's just a case of seeing how much fabric I've got. I think, 5.5 meters will be fine. But so yeah, that is the other little project that I've been thinking about. So as always, really keen to hear your comments about the things I've talked to you about today. Any suggestions on how I might go about my Etta dress / Reggie dress with the pleats and the raw edge, the overlocked edge. Have you made the Apollo jumper before? What do you think? What do you think of this jumper? Like I say, I think it's definitely worth a go. And that's really all I have for you today. So thanks very much for joining me. And I'm going to now go and do some sewing. Yay. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. See ya.